My name is Jay Johnson, and I'm a member of the Fortitude Now Foundation.
I think it was already mentioned that you'll see more from us this year as it relates to teacher efficacy.
State is working on this. We're glad that legislators are working on this. We are thrilled that the idea of increasing and improving education is out there and it's on the tip of everyone's tongues. But what we also know is that it truly begins with the teacher. The teacher has the greatest impact.
What stuck with me the most, however, was reaching kids of color. And we're in a society, we're in a system where, and I'm gonna get emotional because this is me right now with my class, that these kids get pushed into the SPED system, into special education. They get pushed into ED programs. And that's because we're not understanding their basic needs. They're not being met.
And I had no idea how much my brain was gonna grow and how blown away I was gonna be by the experience. It really, truly forced me to reflect on the practices that I was doing that I thought were really great, that really and truly worked. It allowed me to look at myself and to say what I'm doing is in detriment to my students. I prided myself on the fact that I didn't see color. Everyone in my classroom was treated equally. It didn't matter socioeconomic status. It didn't matter their cultural heritage. It didn't matter the color of their skin. When in reality, I was doing a huge disservice to them because I wasn't acknowledging it. I wasn't acknowledging the stereotype threat that was walking in through that door. I didn't understand their personal stories and their heritage. And this year, because I'm in such an infancy, this is only my 4th year teaching, it is such a different culture in my classroom, and it is the best culture I've ever had because my eyes have been open to that.
For spending your Saturday morning with us, and what an education week it has been. We have been talking about teacher efficacy and funding all week long, haven't we? And if you haven't read about it in the paper, you heard about it on the radio, everybody's been talking about it on Facebook and Twitter. So let's keep the conversation going and actually do something about this today. I'm going to introduce you to the panelists we have who have their heart and soul in education and know all about the issues and how to improve teacher efficacy.
When we look at teacher pay, that's obviously a factor. But when you ask teachers why they're leaving the classroom, it's deeper than just pay. It's climate, it's culture, it's the politicized system that's taking place in the state of Arizona. It's a number of these things that take place, including the pay, which really makes teachers say that there's other options out there for me.
I was a tap master teacher last year, but I had to make a spiritual choice for myself of what would be good for me. And so I decided to return to the classroom. And I knew I would take a pay cut, but I was willing to do that because I need peace for myself and my family. And I feel like my impact as an Arizona master teacher and a National Board Certified teacher should be in the classroom with students that need me.
The point is, I think that we have so many regulations, so many things that we place on administrators, that sometimes they place on teachers, that it trickles down and there's just less face-to-face instructional time that we just, as teachers, we desperately need with our students. For the teachers that are in the room, you know what I'm talking about. And so, of course we need reasonable accountability measures, but do we need new, expansive? I don't think so. I guess my end goal is what can we do to get more face-to-face instructional time for teachers and allow them to do the job that they went to school for.
Yeah, you need to talk to the student and find out what's going on. And if the student is not giving you the information that you need, maybe talk to their peers. And then from there you talk to the parent. And then you talk to other people on the campus that may interact with that student. But it starts with the conversation because he just may be having a bad day. Somebody may have just died. As adults, we act differently when things are not going right in our life. And they need to be talked to, not talked at.
When we think back to our own careers, what kept us coming back year after year, what kept us in the classroom was the collaboration, was the Dtec programs, things like that that allow us the opportunity to engage as professionals. We often know part of the reason why, oftentimes people are afraid to say this, part of the reason why teachers' pay is so low is because of our society's value on teachers. Our society really doesn't value teachers. I remember teaching myself and people saying things like glorified babysitter, all of those sorts of things. And that's, you know, until our society values teachers, that dollar amount isn't going to go up. However, we can create and put people in rooms where they feel valued.
And I think when you're looking at retaining teachers, a majority of those positions that we're filling with the 60% that are retiring, you're gonna be recruiting first-year teachers coming out of college. So I think the discussion along with teacher pay is what is leadership now going to look like? How are we going to support these first-year teachers coming in to support them in teacher content knowledge and to support them in classroom management and to support them in classroom culture? Because that's how we're gonna retain those teachers. That's how we're gonna see the increase in scores and to see kids wanting to come to school and doing their best and becoming their best selves.
It's the things that she's doing at that school that made me go back and be comfortable going back into the classroom. I had stepped out and tried different things. But to go back into the classroom, it was because the environment is such that teachers are learning every day, and we are. It's been 20 years for me from my first time stepping into a classroom, and I still feel like I have so much to learn. There's so much to learn. International experiences, and still, there's so much to still learn because we are evolving every day. So those types of opportunities need to be made available to everyone.
Oh, in that first weeks of school, I actually put piles of Legos and I let them build. Build me something. What do I build? Whatever you want. Well, how tall does it have to be? I don't care. So I get to see right away and assess in that one activity how creative they are, how well they work together in teams. And so that sort of thing. So that kind of sets it off. And then I get to see how creative or how much more opportunities I need to provide for my students.
But everyone has a story. And I make room for their stories. And when I permit them to tell their story, and after I've given them permission to tell their story, I affirm their story. There's a way in which it just kind of opens up and they become free to be.
In your classroom, how do you play into stereotypes and how you treat your students? Now, some of you are looking like, well, that's not something I want to answer. If you, as an instructor, cannot be real with who you are and what your biases are, then you are doing your students and yourself a disservice.
Or concerns that emerged from our discussion, and then some of our options. The first thing I want to show you, if you can see this, is that our options are longer than our concerns.
Woo!
I like that thing. So our concerns, some of the concerns that emerged: teacher pay. Now, these are things that impact teacher efficacy. Teacher pay, teacher turnover, professional development or lack thereof, or quality of, low expectations, social emotional needs, high social emotional needs, leadership support or lack thereof, deficit-based thinking, changing mindsets, negativity, mental health and special needs, and lack of creativity or imagination in our students and our teaching. But our options: professional development, high quality, collegial support, high expectations, leveraging local resources such as mentorship, nonprofit organizations, boys and girls clubs, teacher collaboration and partnerships, teacher networks to support one another, data collection, really utilizing data to make the right decisions and choices, open communication amongst staff, with parents, with students, believing in students, building trust, making connections with and for students, accountability, providing choices, the universal design for learning, and developing students into thinkers. All of that came out of what we discussed today.
You got it. You got it. You got it.